and welcome back to the 411 on Tech. Ever since the Steam Deck came out, we've been busy putting videos out on that, and we've been neglecting our other handheld consoles. So today we're going to switch it up a bit and go back to the Analogue Pocket. About a month ago, we got our first major update that brought a lot of cool features like openFPGA, aka bring your own ROMs. So we're going to talk about all that in this video, and we're going to get into it right after this.
Okay, so one of the features of Analogue's new update, the firmware 1.1, is libraries. And with libraries, you're going to get images for the games. You'll get description of what the game, the publisher and everything like that. And so see here for the Zelda, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, you got the system, the developer, the publisher, and like the region. So that's the game detail you get. Now, libraries is still in beta, so eventually. And you can kind of see that it's grayed out there. Eventually though, what it's going to be, it's going to be like a reference database of like all the games, and it's going to be like a deep dive of everything, and Analogue has a little bit of information on that. But so this is still in beta, but it's really nice to have that information when you go to like launch a game. And now these images are images that we got and we put in, and we'll show you how we got those and where you need to put it on your SD card for that to come up when you are ready to play a game.
Alright, so Spiritualized1997 also created this image set, and he put it in a post on the Analogue subreddit, so we'll link that down below, and it also has the link here, so you want to click on that. It'll take you to easyupload.io, and then you just want to click on download, and it'll start downloading the file. Alright, so once you have it downloaded, you just want to extract the zip file. And once it's extracted, go ahead and open it up. Click on System, and then the library folder is what we want. We want to copy and paste that and put it in the System folder of our SD card for the Analogue Pocket. So just go ahead and paste that. Takes a few minutes to get in there. Alright, so now that's in there, and that's all you need to do. So if I click on it in here, you'll see that there's GBA, GB, and Game Gear. So then all you need to do is put your SD card back into your Analogue Pocket, and you'll have image files for your games.
Alright, so the next new feature with this update is memories, which is basically your save states. Now, before you could only do one save state, and when you couldn't switch between games, you would lose that save state. Now you actually, when you save stuff, it goes into the memories menu, and it'll show you all your different game saves. And it also shows what console it is. So you see here we have GBC, GBA. It says the name of the game as well as the date and time. So you can easily access your last save or whatever save that you want to go back to. Now it's still where to save, you hit the analog button and up, and that will go ahead and make a save for you. And then again, to access it in game, you can just hit the analog button and go to memories. And then you see that now we have a new game save. Now you can also see that it's using 5 out of 128, so now you have the option to have 128 game saves. Where again, as I said, before you could only have one, so that's really great. And in the future, they also said that they're going to have thumbnails for each, so wherever you last save, you'll have a thumbnail that'll be right here by the console, so you can actually see where you save. So again, it's easier to find the save that you're looking for. Now there's also settings for the memories as well, and so if you go down to settings and go to memories, you have two options here. Enable quick load, and that basically allows you in-game, if you hit the analog button and down, it'll quickly save your last load. And then there's also an option for enable quick menu. So same thing, if you hit the analog button and down, but this time hold it for 1 second, it'll bring up the memory list so you can select whatever game save you want. So we'll just do that really quick, analog, and then I press and hold it. Now you can see we can quickly access all our game saves in the memory menu. Or I just hit it for a quick second and then it just loaded our last game save. So those are really nice options. I recommend, setting up so you can easily access your game saves in game.
Okay, last but not least with this firmware update is openFPGA, and what that allows is for developers to develop cores for the Analogue Pocket, so we can have different systems like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Before you needed like to have the cards or to have a flash card to play those games. Now you can have those ROMs on your microSD card, and with those cores that are available that are being able to be developed through openFPGA, you can have those. Now, Spiritualized 1997 developed cores for the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance,
Game Gear,
and a number of others. And then Murray Aiken developed a core for NEO GEO. And also with the openFPGA, there's a core for the PDP-1, and that was developed by Spaceman 3. And with that, you can play Space Wars, the first video game from 1962. And you can do this all on the Pocket now, and there's also another developer, and we'll throw up a screenshot of that he's developing a core for the NES and the SNES on the Pocket. So a lot of cores coming, more functionality coming to the Analogue Pocket, so it'll just become an even better handheld gaming solution for retro gamers. Alright, so with that, here's the openFPGA that we have now with the firmware 1.1. So go in there, and we've set it up already, but we'll show you how to install the firmware 1.1 and how to set up the cores with openFPGA. We'll show you that. Alright, so we see here we have all the cores, the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and all of those, and this Space War. And you go in, you do run, and then those are the games that you have for that system. Oop. Game Boy Color, and there's, like I mentioned, there's also developers developing for the SNES and the NES as well, so that's coming. So just to launch a game real quick, we have Game Boy Advance here, and you do run, then you choose the game that you want to run, and I'm going to do Metroid Fusion. It takes a second, it loads up. And you can see there's no cartridge, so it's all running off the SD card, and there you have it. We have Metroid Fusion running here. So now what we'll do is we'll show you how to set up, like we mentioned, how to set up the firmware, Analogue Firmware 1.1, which gives you the libraries, the memories, the openFPGA, and we'll show you how to get the cores set up in openFPGA. So we're going to go to the computer now, and we'll show you that. Okay, so here we are at the Analogue web page, and what we want to do is you want to go to Support, and then Pocket, and you see we have the firmware under Firmware, and it's version 1.1 Beta 3, released on September 7, 2022. We see we have that there, and then we're going to want to download it. So this is a review on all of the firmware versions, and there are some instructions here telling you exactly how to do the firmware update. It's a pretty straightforward process, not too difficult. But so version 1.1 Beta 3, we'll click download. It starts downloading. Take too long. I'm going to go to where our downloads are, and you want to move that to the root of your microSD card and delete it from your downloads folder, so it'll be clogging up your space. Now you want to eject your microSD card, and we're going to put it back into the Pocket. So we're going to leave Windows. Now we're inserting it into our Analogue Pocket, and so we insert it, power it on the Pocket, and once we power it on, it'll start installing the firmware. It'll still take about 5 minutes, to install. Starts installing. We sped up the video. You see the openFPGA is preparing the SD card, log in the Pocket. And there'll be a tutorial. You can start the tutorial or you can skip it. So now that we have that done, we'll show you how to do the cores.
Okay, so now that we're back on the PC and we have the SD card inserted, you see we have new folders. So the ones we're interested for openFPGA for the cores is the cores folder and assets. So on Retro Game Corp's website, he gives you the instructions on how to do all of this and also a link to this tool that auto installs everything for you. So it's a really, really simple process, and we'll go ahead and put that link down below. But it takes you to this GitHub page, and what you want, whatever your operating system is, you want to get this Pocket Updater. So we have Windows, we're going to get the Windows. You also need the auto update.json script as well there at the top. So once you have that, you want to extract it. And the file that you want is the pocketupdater.exe. And that's going to go to the root of the SD card, as well as that auto update JSON. So once you have it there, you want to go ahead and execute that update. And then you'll see it's going here. It's putting all the folders and everything that you need. So the only thing left to do is to put your ROMs and your BIOS files. And again, that website, Retro Game Corp's website, tells you how to do it for each system. Also, Spiritualized 1997 puts in README text, and it tells you exactly where to put everything. So the main folder structure that we're going to be dealing with is asset, whatever the system is, and common folder. So that's where everything is going to go, your ROMs and your BIOS files. And here you can see when you go into the cores folder, you see all the different cores already there for you. Alright, so back on Retro Game Corp's website, if you scroll down, like I said, it's going to tell you how to do each system. So there's instructions for Game Boy and Game Boy Color, as well as all the other systems, Game Gear, Master System, the NEO GEO. So definitely a very helpful website you're going to want to look at to get this done. So like I said, the next step is you're going to want to get your ROM files and your BIOS files. And again, he tells you exactly what BIOS files you need. But just like him, we're not going to tell you where to get that. So you need to just find that on your own, and Google is your friend. So go ahead and get your ROMs and the BIOS files that he mentions. And once you have that, we'll show you where to put them. Alright, so now that we have our ROMs and BIOS files, you're going to put those in assets. And then whatever system you're working on here, so GBC, click on common. And then for this, we have, since there's two systems, you just want to create subfolders, one for GB. And you see we have the ROMs in there, another one for GBC. And we have the ROMs in there. And then make sure you have the right format. And he kind of talks about that in the post as well. So for GBC, you're going to have .gbc, GB, you're going to have .gb. And then here you also see that we have the BIOS file. So that's all you really need to do for that. GBA, same thing, common folder, and then you have your ROMs and the bin for your BIOS. Now GG, Master System, SG-1000, you don't need BIOS files for that. So you just go ahead and dump your ROMs in the Commons folder. Alright, for NEO GEO it's a little bit different, and you need a specific ROM set, Darksoft. Again, all this information is listed on Retro Game Corp's website, so you can check that out. But it has a very specific name structure and everything that you need for the Analogue Pocket. So we have two games here, Art of Fighting 2 and Blazing Star. And when you drill down into these subfolders, you'll see these are the type of files that you just see. So you just want to go ahead and keep this whole subfolder structure and everything as is, and put that like you see right here in the common folder. And then you'll also see that there are two BIOS files. So these are the two BIOS files that you need. And again, all this is right in the common folder of NEO GEO. And then this was the game Damien was talking about for the PDP-1 by Spaceman 3. And then you have the SG-1000. Again, everything is going to go in the Commons folder for each system. Same for Sega Master System. So now let's head back over to the Analogue Pocket and check things out.
All right, we're back here with the Analogue Pocket and we got everything set up. So now we're going to go to openFPGA and we're going to check out some gameplay for these cores. First, let's kick it off with the Game Boy Advanced and let's check out Metroid Fusion. Alright, so as you can see, that's looking pretty good. Metroid Fusion running on the Game Boy Advance core by Spiritualized Gamer 1997. Let's check out another core here. Go ahead and quit. Let's check out something on the Game Boy Color. Now, as you can see here, we did the two subfolders, so you have GB for Game Boy, GBC for Game Boy Color. Let's put some Wario Land. Oh. Get this key. But yeah, everything's looking good on this one too. This is a Game Boy Color. Wario Land 3. Yeah, let's check out another system here, another core. Let's check out some Game Gear. Check out some Sonic Chaos. Chaos! I don't know if you guys ever played Skylanders, but if you have, you know what I mean by that. I already have a save state for this too. No, guess not. The colors on this Analogue Pocket really look great. And it's so cool that we get to play all these different games from the different systems. Oh. Didn't see that one coming. And I did it again. Oh, okay, no, that just came out of nowhere. So that looks good. Let's try one more. Let's try the NEO GEO. Because again, to have that on a handheld console like this is really cool. Now, they have listings for every game, but you just want to go to the game that you have. I have Blazing Star. Check that out. This is yet another game I never played. I never played any NEO GEO games. I didn't have one. If you're familiar with the NEO GEO, it was very, very expensive when it came out. But I love these good side scroller shooters. Shoot 'em ups. Oh. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Just wanted to show you some gameplay so you can see how these cores and the games for them like play. And as you can see, everything looks and plays really, really good, and it's a lot of fun. So definitely recommend getting this set up on your Analogue Pocket so you can play these games as well. Alright, so as you can see, there's a lot of awesome features that they've added with the 1.1 update, and there's definitely more to come. I definitely like that now you can save multiple save states and you can easily access them in the Memories tab. The library is still kind of in beta, but it's really nice that you can see, you know, images for your games and all those, you know, details and stuff like that. I'm excited to kind of see what they're going to do with the library thing and how it's just going to be like a game history like database. I think that's pretty cool. But most cool is the openFPGA. So you can, you know, they have a number of cores already. There's more to come, as you mentioned, SNES, NES, and you can play it all on this portable console, which is really, really awesome. So, I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah, I really like it. You know, again, like having those additional cores and the library feature is really going to be good to, like, once it gets finalized, a deep dive into the history of these games. Now you can't do the special screen overlays with those cores, but maybe that'll be developed like in the future, so you can't do like the DMG or any of that kind of thing. But fortunately, the analog screen is really nice as is, you know, with the resolution and everything. So that's good. More cores are coming, and you know, the functionality of the cores will be improved over time. There's really talented developers developing these cores for this system, so you know, more functionality coming to it. You know, this could be your ultimate handheld retro system.
Yeah, and it's hardware, it's not software emulation, so everything really looks good.
Yeah, it really looks good, plays good. Now there some games like, you know, it's not 100%. We didn't run into anything incompatibility issues, but you know, those will probably be worked out in the future. But it's adding more functionality to the Pocket. And let us know down in the comments if you have like a pre-order for Pocket. I think it's now out to like Group C in 2023, so I'm thinking that might be Q3 2023. But let us know if you have an Analogue Pocket and if you plan to you know, put these cores on and what games you're looking forward to playing. And you know, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.